So why did we choose to build a boat in France and not in the US? This is what Duca has been working on the last days, the last week.
So today we're gonna try to answer as many questions as possible from you guys and as quick as possible, because usually I speak too much. Today I promise I'm gonna try to be quick and answer as many as possible.
So let's get started.
Let's get started.
So why did we choose to build a boat in France and not in the US?
Yeah, lately we got this question so many times. First of all, we cannot live in the US. We don't have a visa. We are not US citizens. There is no way we can stay longer than 6 months as tourists, and that complicates a lot because we would technically be working in the US, and by law we cannot work in the US.
You're not allowed to.
Yeah, but more than that, that's not the only reason. Also, we always wanted to live in Europe for a while. Europe is a place that we can travel to so many different countries so easy. This year alone, we went to so many different countries, and you just get a car, you drive, you're in a different country, drive a little bit more, you're in a different country. And also because I have Italian citizenship. That means we can freely live here for as long as we want legally, and that makes life a lot easier, supposedly. As you know now, it's not that easy. There's a lot of paperwork involved, but at least we can do it.
And why France?
Why France? First of all, we didn't choose France. We chose Meta Boatyard. That's the truth. Our old boat was designed by Meta in the 80s. We really like the method of construction that they use on our boat, that we talked about that before. That's called Strongo. And we really wanted to build our next boat on the Strongo method, and Meta is the boatyard that's specialized in Strongo method. So basically we didn't even choose Meta, we chose Strongo, and then we chose Meta, and then we end up choosing France.
And also we choose a place that we could build just the hull and we could do the rest by ourselves.
Yeah, that's the truth, because there are a lot of other good boatyards, but they just sell ready boats, and that's not what we were looking for. We were looking for someone that we could modify.
Yep.
Yeah, we're looking for someone that we could modify the boat a lot and do whatever we want, and then we can build the boat we want, and that's a pretty much custom made boat.
Yes. Next question: is there a way of transporting the finished hull to Brazil?
There is, but it's really complicated. I don't know how we would do the tax and paperwork when we transport part of a boat to Brazil, just the hull, because it's part of a vehicle, and that's really complicated to do when it comes to import to Brazil. But if we manage to do that, it would be really expensive. Right now, boat taxes, it's I believe at least 70%, but could go up to 100% taxes. So that means we could not afford to do that. The easiest way would be to finish the boat as rough as possible, put an engine and just motor to Brazil, or put a mast and just sail to Brazil. But again, it would be really complicated because we need to transform something that's not quite ready into a boat legally, and then we need to import to Brazil, and that's 100% taxes. Not affordable.
Next one. Have you thought about finishing the boat in Portugal?
We actually thought. We looked for a farm in Portugal, and we found a olive tree farm. That was a really cool place, and it was not that expensive. Why didn't we buy that farm?
Because something really cool showed up.
Yeah, so right when we were looking for that farm, a new plan, completely different plan, that it's exactly where we are right now. It showed up, and we were like, no, there's no way we're gonna say no to this, and we end up in a different country.
We actually also looked for Spain.
Yeah,
and Italy.
Portugal, Spain, and Italy. I think our preference would be Portugal, then Spain, and then Italy.
Yeah.
But another country showed up, a cold one, as you can tell. But it's been awesome, actually.
Next one. We were not aware of the inflation in Brazil and the variation of the euro. Why didn't we transfer all the money to euros immediately when we sold our former boat?
To be honest, inflation in Brazil right now is bad, but you have no idea what it was when we grew up. When we grew up,
1000%.
and on the 80s, literally you get the payment of your work once a month. You go to supermarket and you spend everything in one day on the first of the month. Otherwise, the price goes higher in the next day, or even in the next hour, in the next minute. So people just run to the supermarket and buy things before the prices are too high. So right now it's not as bad, but the currency exchange, it's terrible. And the reason why we didn't convert all our money to euros is because we need a bank account in Europe, and there is a lot of bureaucracy involved, and we could not do that. And it's just it was simpler to stay in Brazil, and we had no idea it was going to go up so fast, and now it's pretty much too late to transfer everything. I don't think it's worth.
We need to bring the money slowly.
Yeah, because now, every now and then goes a little bit down, so we wait for the right time and we transfer a little bit, and we try to balance the times we bring money to Europe and try to keep our average costs down. That's pretty much the answer.
When do you hope the boat will be completed?
We are always planning for 5 years, but these 5 years could be 3, could be 7. I'm not sure.
We want Ollie, our son, to grow a little bit.
Yep.
So and for him to go to school a little bit and to learn the culture here.
And I think it's going to be much easier for us if he's at least like 4 years old on the boat instead of 1. And we want to take the time to build the boat properly.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, and also we want to take the time to build the boat properly and enjoy the process.
Technical answer. Why are the welders not wearing protection on the videos?
First of all, we are just customers at the boatyard. We don't own the boatyard. They are not our employees. There is nothing we can do. We don't control them. We just document them building our boat. But second of all, they're just tech welding. Whenever they are actually welding, they do wear masks. And I'm not defending, I'm not saying that it's right to tech weld without a mask. But if you go around, you're going to find out that's really normal in Brazil, in many different countries, that when they just need to do one tech weld, they just don't wear the mask. Otherwise, they slow down too much. But I'm not saying that's right. Don't take me wrong. For me, they would wear a mask all the time, and they would use even different kinds of masks. But that's not up to us. It's up to them and up to the boatyard. We're just a customer.
What alloy is the aluminum?
It's 5083H 111. So that's marine aluminum. That's I think it's like the most standard one that everyone builds aluminum boats in Europe.
I have no idea about this one. There is a new laser aluminum welder. What are the pros and cons of using it?
I have no idea. Never heard of it.
Me neither.
I have no idea.
Do they grind the first and second exterior welds before welding the next pass?
Yes. If we showed every single detail, it would be too long, the video. But they grind and clean and wire brush when they prepare for the first weld, and then they weld, and then they clean again, and then they weld. So every time in between welds, they prepare again and clean, because the aluminum cannot be contaminated when they weld.
Is the hull is gonna support if a whale hits it?
I hope so. It's a really strong. Yeah, it's built really strongly. That's the thing about stronghold method. You use thick plates instead of a lot of internal structure.
So how thick is the boat?
We're gonna get there in a different question, but yes. Okay. So the bottom plate is 12 millimeters thick. That means half-inch thick aluminum. The side plate under the waterline is 10 millimeters. Higher than the waterline is 8 millimeters. So it's really thick. And the bottom of the bulb of the keel is 15 millimeters thick.
Oh. The hull looks exactly the same as the previous boat. How is this improvement?
That's actually... Just give me 1 second. Another hint of where we are. Yeah, that's actually a huge improvement. We never said we didn't like the way Odd sails, actually. We really like the way Odd sails. We didn't like the internal space and volume of Odd.
And the cockpit.
So, in the cockpit, I love the cockpit. And under the waterline, the lines of Odd and Pacific, the new boat, Pacifico, it's actually really, really similar. The person that commented that is 100% right. The shape of the hull is completely similar, but we have a lot more volume higher than the waterline. We have the decks a little bit higher. We have a little bit more beam, and that changes the space a lot. And also the way the layout of the boat is completely different. It's a completely different concept with an open cockpit that we have a plenty space.
Is way bigger.
Yeah, and we have more volume, and the way the volume is thought out, it's different. So in the end, we're going to have space the way we want, even though under the waterline that matters a lot for sailing, it's pretty much the same. Yeah. But the keel system and the rudder system are completely different also. And we do like the rudder and the keel system on the new boat, even though we also like it on Odd. It's just different.
What's the actual length of the building so far?
So the length of the building, if you see just the whole length is 43 feet.
The length of the building is not the amount of time.
Oh, I thought it was.
The boat?
Yeah, but as I just let me answer my question. So the length of the hull is 43 feet. The length overall with the platform down, overall from platform to bowsprit is 47 feet. The length of the build so far, I believe we started the build on the 12th of... No, it doesn't. We just did like 2 lines. So 12th of June.
Oh, okay.
So that means like 6 months. And right now we're recording this on the exactly same day you're watching this. We're just recording and going to post for you guys. So around 6 months. But they stop many times along the way. They slow down many times. It's a long story.
Doing all the work.
Yeah.
Is the whole ice rated?
I would say the hull is ice rated. The only problems are the keels. We're going to have twin keels. And if you want to winter in Antarctica, for example, that means the ice is going to close on your boat, and it might compress your boat to go up. And when that happens, you have 2 keels holding the boat. So that could be a problem technically. We are not building this boat to winter in Antarctica. We might go to Antarctica one day, I dream with that, but not to winter. If it's just to sail in Antarctica, it's completely fine. To winter in Antarctica, I don't believe is the right boat.
What's the purpose of this kind of bow?
So the bow, a lot of people ask about the bow. So we have it's not really a scull bow, but it's close to a scull bow. So it's a kind of a round bow, and that is pretty good for downwind sailing because you have more volume, you have more buoyancy on the bow of the boat, and also creates more space inside because of the volume. It goes upwind a little bit. My director is saying that I should put the camera down.
Yes.
So the space goes downwind better. Upwind, it might go a little bit worse. It's gonna go upwind, but of course, if you had like a sharp bow, I believe would go upwind a little bit better. But we're not building a boat to race upwind. We're building a boat to.
Once again, it's a compromise. It's always a compromise.
Yeah, we are building a boat to try to travel with the wind and current west. So I think it's pretty good.
Have you got any irritation on your eyes from the building so far?
Irritation on my eyes. There was one time when they were sanding the bottom of the boat that I got a lot of dust from the aluminum, and I could not open my eyes on the next day. But it was one time, and I'm not saying that's right. It's really wrong. I should have protected better, but it's hard to know when it didn't happen yet. You're filming, and suddenly the next day you cannot open your eyes, but it happens.
Which boat has the best performance hull, in your opinion? Yours or Run?
Oh, Run sailing.
Because Run has a almost flat bottom.
We also have almost a flat bottom, but it's a completely different boat. We have a really heavy displacement boat. I'm not sure how is the displacement of Run 2. It's a beautiful boat. I really like the boat they're building. It's amazing, but it's a completely different boat. It's hard to... It's 3, Run 3. Yeah, it's for me... I cannot answer that question. I have no idea. I don't know the numbers on their boat. Their boat is bigger.
Let's see, we can sail together.
No, they're going to be faster for sure. I mean, they're building a 50 foot. We are building a 43 foot. Just that alone makes them probably faster. They have a longer water line, so it's hard to compare.
Talking about a 43, compare your boat with the OVNI 430.
Our boat compared to the OVNI, I really like the OVNI, to be honest. It's a nice boat, but there are similarities, but there are also some really different things. Again, you need to get used to the train. It's a small one though. Yeah, the train passes by here all the time. It's the new character on this series. Yeah, so OVNI, the under the water line, I think the whole shape is really similar to our boat. I believe they have one more shine. I'm not quite sure if it's the old 400 or the 430 has one more shine, either one of those.
But I think the layout is completely different.
Yeah, so
under the waterline is really similar, but on the top it's really
on the
different.
top it looks like I mean like the shape of the hull itself looks really similar, but the roof,
the layout is completely different.
And if you see the roof, it's more forward on their case. The mast is on the top of the roof. Our mast is in front of the roof, so that means we have a bigger deck forward of the mast. It's more I don't know, it's a different shape.
And the cockpit's different.
And the cockpit's completely different. Yeah. The interior layout, they have stern cabins. We don't have stern cabins. It's a completely different layout, even though it's a really cool boat. I
Once
like
again,
what
we
we are
didn't
doing.
want to buy a ready boat. We
Yeah.
wanted to build by ourselves.
If we needed to buy a ready boat, obviously 430 it would
Yeah.
be a really good
Option.
I think we would
Yeah.
think about building one, but we wanted to do a custom made build.
How deep is the keel and how it's gonna be fixed on the boat? What kind of keel and rudder configuration does the boat have?
So we changed that a lot on the past year and a half that we've been designing the boat. And just a few months ago, we hit the hammer, how I say, like we made the decision because there's, in one point we need to make the
gavel.
decision. So we were gonna have a twin keel system with a transferable ballast in between them. And that's the reason why we had a twin keel. But also because I do like the twin keel system because you can have a shallow draft
Yeah.
without having a moving keel or centerboard.
And also, it's easier when you beach the boat. It's easier to clean the hull.
Yeah, that's what we found out about our old boat. We had a centerboard, and we were like, "That's nice. We can beach the boat. We can clean the bottom." But then when you beach the boat, the bottom is flat, and
You cannot clean
the
it.
only part you can clean is the side, and the side is really easy to clean when you're floating.
Yeah.
And the worst part to clean, you cannot clean because it's touching the ground. So this time we have a twin keel that we can stand on the keel, and we originally were going to have 2 engines and 2 rudders. So twin keels, twin engine, twin rudders. But I don't think it makes sense for this size of boat. If it was a 50-foot, I think it would make sense, or higher than that, bigger than that. So we decided to have 1 engine because it was getting too heavy, too many equipments. The engine room was crowded,
Many
too crowded.
reasons, actually.
And then with 1 engine, I don't think it makes sense to have twin keels and 1 engine unprotected in the center with 2 rudders. So we decided to have 1 rudder because for me it makes more sense to have 1 propeller and 1 rudder. So now we have only 1 rudder, 1 engine, 2 keels, and we are not going to build anymore the turbo keel system that is a ballast transfer. We'll explain about that later. We're just going to have a standard twin keel with twin bulbs, 1 engine, 1 rudder that is overbuilt to be able to hold the boat weight. So we have a tripod basically that we can
Beach the
put
boat.
beach the boat or put even on the ground in a marina. We can just lay on 2 keels and 1 rudder.
That's nice.
And in front of the propeller we have 1 skeg, just 1 simple skeg to protect if something hits the propeller.
Wouldn't it be easier to put the keel with the boat upside down?
That's a good question. I don't know. The boatyard been building boats for 60 years and they prefer to put the keel in place with the deck up.
And they didn't build the keel yet.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, they might this week. They're starting to
Maybe.
build the keel now. Yeah. By the way, I didn't answer the last question. Was how you were gonna attach the keel to the boat? Just welded. It's a normal welded keel on the kind of on the side of the boat with an angle with a bulb. And
didn't
the
know that.
draft is gonna be 1.6 meters. So it's not a really shallow draft, but it's not a
good
really
enough.
long draft. It's just sweet spot.
Well, why was the chain locker moved to the mast?
The more you bring the weight to the center of the boat, the best is the motion of the boat, in my opinion. If you put all the weight on the bow and on the stern, the boat becomes that it's stable, but it moves too much because it goes down and discorrect and just moves too much.
Tilts.
I don't know how to say in English, but there is this too much of this movement. If all the weight is on the center, it's a much more stable and moves less. And also, if we want to have more chain, it doesn't affect the trim of the boat. When the chain locker is on the bow, like on Odd, we had 45 meters of chain only, and if we put more, the bow would just go down and was too much. So I rather have it on the mast.
Are you concerned with corrosion between the anchor chain and the aluminum pipe taking the chain back to the mast?
We are gonna have actually a composite pipe or plastic pipe or something inside the aluminum pipe. So we're gonna actually have a second pipe inside to isolate from the chain. So
How
I
about
don't-
the noise when the chain passes through the pipe?
Of course, you're going to be able to listen to that, but anytime you're anchoring, no one should be sleeping. It just doesn't matter, really, to be honest. And also, we can put numbers when you're anchored, so the noise, the chain is going to be just sitting there because all the pressure is going to be on the cleats.
Do you have natural preference for monohulls?
To be honest, I don't have much experience on motorhulls. I only did a small passage on our friend's motorhull and another one in French Polynesia.
But that doesn't count.
No, it counts. It was a really different. It was a James
Warren.
Warren with 2 self-standing masts sideways with junk rigged sails. So
This was my experience.
yeah, it's hard to compare.
Yeah.
And if I'm 100% fair, we started this whole idea of building a new boat. It was a motorhole actually. We were gonna build exactly the same boat as Videlos is building right now. And we talked with them and with the designer and everyone for like 4 months. And we were gonna actually build that boat in Brazil. But after a lot of thought and a lot of math, we cannot afford to build that boat. And also, in the end, we didn't believe that was the right boat for us. We are not someone that sail with 10 people, 8 people ever. We like to have our own privacy, and we sail with maybe 1 or 2 friends and with 1 kid. And I think it's a lot more sustainable for us to have a 43-foot monohull than a 50-foot, 52, 53-foot catamaran. Even though I think it would be awesome to go to Indonesia and have all that space to have friends and boards and go surfing, we realized that that was not the right boat for us.
And also, we have a kid now, and from time to time we want to travel and leave the boat somewhere in a marina, and a 43 monohull is much cheaper to keep in a marina than a...
And to haul out, when you go over 40 feet motorhull, to haul out, not every marina is going to haul out, and it becomes really expensive. So it's not just we cannot afford to build, we cannot afford to maintain. And we want to have something that is much cheaper to maintain, even though I think that's a beautiful boat, and we would love to have one of those islands when you're just anchored and enjoying. Yes,
it's
of
good
course.
To have friends with one.
Yeah.
Is the cockpit drain having epoxy paint to avoid corrosion?
Yep, just like Art, we're gonna you just close the bottom. That's the way we paint. We prepare the surface with like a rotating brush, and then we just close the bottom, fill up with epoxy paint.
Person that stays on the bottom.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did on Odd. We just close the bottom, fill up the whole pipe with epoxy paint, wait for a little bit, and then drain it down, wait it to dry, another coat, and we would do that.
This is a good one. Will there be a lot of Sika flags on the new boat too?
A lot. No, the truth is, now we have a much closer relationship with Sika, and that's really good because we have access to their engineers and to all the technology behind.
And we know that they have way more products than just Sika flags.
Yes, Sika Flex is one of the products. There is a lot of other things that we are going to use on the boat. For example, epoxy resin.
Yes.
We want to coat the wood on the boat with epoxy resin because on the tropics there is a lot of termites, and if we apply epoxy resin, there is less chance of having termite problems. So we're going to use resin. We're going to have Sika deck on the deck of the boat. So there's a lot of things to come. Sika floor. Yeah, Sika deck. Yeah.
How do you get such regular access to the building? Are you living close to the factory? Which city it is?
Yeah, we were. Right now we are 7 hours away. Oh, that's another hint. We are 7 hours away from Meta Boatyard, but until last month we were living 7 minutes drive from the yard. Yes. So that means I go there every single day pretty much. And the reason why we have access is because, of course, they want publicity. That's the deal.
We had a partnership in the beginning.
It's not really. They got a tiny little discount. The partnership don't think that they gave us the hull. No, the hull was really expensive.
Oh, yes. Still is. We're
still paying for the hull. But we had an agreement that we will only build the boat with them if they allowed us to film. Otherwise, we cannot afford to pay for it because we need to make videos. So that's why we have access to the boatyard.
How is Oli, our son?
Doing
Are
great.
you planning on having another child?
No other child. One's enough.
Oli is when we were younger, we were planning on having a big family.
Like 3, 4 maybe.
Yeah, but now one is good.
No, the thing is, we want to sail the road, we want to explore, and having a lot of kids, it just makes a lot more complicated. And I think we can give a lot of attention and the right attention to one and make sure he enjoys life traveling as much as possible. And
we are not young anymore.
And we are 40, 41, and there is no time for a second one, and we need to build a boat right now. Yes. One is already a lot of work when you're building a boat. Yeah. But he's doing great, by the way. He's at home right now with my stepmom, My mom left a week ago, and my stepmom arrived last week to stay another 3 months with us.
And we are going to Brazil in March.
Yeah, that was another answer for the next question.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
okay.
know. Duca's mom stayed 3 months with you guys, and his stepmom. Why don't Roberta's family visit you guys?
Yeah, I just said that my mom was here for 3 months, and now my stepmom for 3 months. My whole family comes for Christmas and New Year's. And a lot of people ask, so why don't Roberta's family also come to visit?
So my sister works a lot, but she came for a week when Ollie was born. And my father and my mother, they are older than Duca's
They
family.
don't like to travel
and
much anymore?
They don't like, and my dad can't. So my family can't travel anymore, so we are going to Brazil in March.
Yeah, so instead of them coming, we are coming to them in March
Yeah.
for 3 weeks, in the beginning of March until the end of March. We're going to spend in Brazil, and it's going to be almost 2 years that we don't go home, so it's good.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be summer there.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Remember that we need to approve the van in Europe.
We do need to approve the van in Europe. We are just not sure if we're going to do that in France
Or in the country
where we are. If we do here, the place to actually get it homologated is literally across the street from our house. Literally, you can walk across the street, and the other side there is the place that you homologate. It's a lot of bureaucracy, but we are going to get to that point eventually. Right now, the van, it's just waiting for me to finish the build of our new dream workshop. That's exactly where we are. This is literally
This is what Duca has been working on the last days, the last week.
by myself. I've been putting this wood. Check how high. That's how high this place is. It was not time to talk about that, but check the size of this thing. So Roberta, stay there. So goes from here all the way there, double this width. So you might be all the way to there, kind of. And this is going to be empty for the boat. So pretty much we have a shed, a big shed. So that's our new shed. The boat's going to sit here, and here a big workshop. And we have, we're going to also build a car. So the boat's going to be on wheels. That's the little car for the boat. That is really heavy duty. So that's the next step. We're not gonna. The camera is the battery is. We are almost running out of battery, but that's the step that's happening right now in real time. This video is being posted exactly 2 hours after we record. And here is gonna. Of course, we run out of battery. I talk too much as usual, but here is gonna be boat in one side. This is gonna be 100% empty. Big workshop on the side, and you might ask, so why are you building a whole structure for the workshop? Because we don't want to close this entire front. It's just too big to close, and we need, as you can tell, it's really cold, and it's just the beginning of winter. We need heating. It's just too cold, and also the machinery you're gonna have inside, they're gonna get damaged if there is no closing here. They're gonna get rain and wind and humidity. So
And the question that a lot of people have been asking, and
which country are we? We're in Belgium.
we are in Belgium.
Welcome to Belgium. Yeah, we've been living in Belgium for a month.
More exactly in Bruges.
I was not supposed to say that. They're gonna supposed to guess where in Belgium. Okay, we are in Bruges, Belgium.
We can put like beep.
Beep. Oh, true. Yeah, beep, beep. Yeah, so that's the place we're gonna finish the boat. We are getting things organized for the boat to arrive. Supposedly the boat was supposed to arrive on the 9th of January. The transport, that's another question. How you're going to transport the boat to Belgium? We are going to transport by truck. The truck is already scheduled, 50% paid to the company. They ask which company is doing that. I don't remember the name. It's on the emails. I need to check, but
We
it's
can
a French.
say when it happens.
Yeah, it's just a French company, normal French transporting company that do transport of boats.
Yeah, Meta use them a lot.
Yeah, but Matt is a little bit late. Now they're talking about first week of February. On the meantime, we're gonna hopefully finish this workshop by 20th of December when my family arrives.
And then we are gonna finish the van, right?
Yeah, so then we start the van on the 6th of January when they leave. So between 6th of January
In March.
in March when they deliver the boat. We hope to get a lot of progress on the van because we need to sell the van to put the money towards the boat.
Yeah.
And we are gonna film that probably, but not as we used to be. We're just gonna try to show like more ready things, not show every little detail of the van because the audience just don't like. So it takes a lot longer for us to finish the van if we film every single detail.
Yeah.
And that means for the next semester, don't expect weekly videos because that's impossible for us right now. Life is another turning position of turning moment of our lives. We have a little baby. We're trying as hard as possible to keep the edit. Today was supposed to be another boat building video. We could not
We
edit
could
it.
not even touch the editing.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just we've been going to stores, we've been buying things for the house, organizing our lives. Otherwise, we are gonna get crazy. So we are trying to get the hang of it before we get burned out. And I think right now life's much better.
Yeah.
We are really enjoying being here. We are really welcome on the place we are. We are gonna have a full video explaining the situation of the place we are, and you're gonna understand that the reason why we didn't try hard to take the boat to Brazil, because we could technically put in a shipping container and ship the hull, pay the taxes, would be a mess. But I strongly believe the situation that we are right now is going to be even better than going back home and building in Brazil, because it's going to be awesome. I mean, I can't wait to actually get things settled and start doing weekly videos and showing you the place we are and how things are going to be done, because it's just going to be amazing. But I'm going to stop talking because I'm annoying a lot of people probably, and I'm freezing.
See you guys soon.